Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Haley Waterbeach and you guys are the Coral Squad. And in today's video, also welcome back to the Pearl Equestrian Center. And in today's video, I am taking Miss Raven, my 4-year-old off-the-track thoroughbred mare, on her first ever horse show ever. So it's also my first ever horse show in a little bit, since a lot of my horses here have gotten injured and haven't been able to go to said horse shows. So a lot of my horses are back in work now, but I just haven't had a chance to take them to horse shows. So we are taking Miss Raven to her first ever horse show. I'm also going to be taking Miss Pearl, and Pearl and Raven are actually really close in friendship wise, and Raven does better with other horses in the trailer. So I'm going to take her to get groomed up and all ready and get some boots on her so we can go and get her into the trailer. I already have everything in the trailer except for like a couple of things like my helmet, gloves, and that's basically it. So I'm gonna go and get her over and get groomed. So I have Miss Raven all ready to go, but now I have to get Pearl and put her halter on and get her ready to go, because I might enter her into a show, because you can go and enter in a horse at the show if you want to add another horse. So I might be adding Pearl as well, but we'll see how she feels, because I am going to take some of her stuff as well. So I'm gonna get her ready as well, just in case I end up wanting to ride her there as well. So I will be doing that, and I'm gonna go and get Miss Raven into the trailer, and then we'll get her friend as well. Or I'll do it the opposite way. We'll see what ends up happening. So I just got Raven into the trailer and she's all ready to go, and now I have to go and get Miss Pearl and get her in the trailer, and I'll see you guys when we are at the grounds. Alrighty, so me and Raven are all ready to go. Pearl is also over here, and I have to get her ready because I did have a time to enter her in to a higher jumping class. So me and Raven have only 2 rounds of jumping, and then we should be done with me and Raven jumping. And then we have 1 flat class, which I don't know if I'm going to record that, but I might. And then I have 3 things with Pearl. So I'm all ready. I was in a rush, grabbed the wrong jacket, and hopefully this jacket works, but I'm going to get up on Raven and warm her up and get ready to go. So me and Raven got called to start, and I was so excited but mainly nervous because I haven't jumped Raven in a little bit, because she has never been to a show before, so I was kind of nervous on how she was going to do. But she did really good over these first couple of fences, and we sped up our canter. She did really good over these 2 jumps, and then back over this blue, and then we had our tight turn. This arena was not the biggest for my 16 hand 4-year-old, so she did really good, and our last two fences right here, and then we had to do our trot circle for the exit, which I almost forgot there because I had to like try and collect her back up, and then we were able to walk out. And our second round had a lot bigger jumps because our first round was like for like lower jumps and not as high of jumps and stuff, and it was kind of complicated. So then I walked her out and went to our next class. Then we had our next class, and this class was a lot higher jumps. So we did our walk-in, and then we got our buzzer, and I immediately got her to a nice forward canter. She almost chipped that first jump, but overall I think we did pretty good with our doing our lines. We had to do a rollback here, and then we had to jump the yellow again and go over here to our other yellow. And this was kind of complicated because it was a pretty long jumping course, and she is very tiny, so another rollback. I mean, very big but very young, so I didn't know how she was going to do. That was the last jump, and I did our trot circle, and then I was able to walk out. So after me and Raven's two jumping classes, we had our flat class, and I forgot to record it, to be honest, but we did pretty good with our flat class. And then I got off of Miss Raven and tacked up Miss Pearl and did our ginormous courses, and let's just say some things did not go to plan with her, so yeah, and she's 9. Then it was me on Pearl, and let's just say this course was a lot more different. So the buzzer got called, and I had her at a nice collected canter because, like I said, she was a corsage horse for she was with the old lady for a couple of years, and then she went to a show jumping person for almost the rest of her life, but not really. But she went there when she was 7, and then she came to me when she was 9 and 9.5, because she's almost 10. So because her birthday is coming up very, very soon, so exciting. So if you're wondering, her birthday is actually on Valentine's Day, so which is really exciting because, well, like, her birthday is on Valentine's Day, and Sully's birthday is the day before Halloween. So we had quite a few polls, and I was kind of bummed because she was more experienced with a lot of different things, and I could tell she was bummed with herself as well. Then we had our flat class immediately after our jumping class, so the jumps were still set up for when we had our run. So here's our flat class, and there was other people that were going to be in the flat class, but they ended up exiting out because something happened to their horse, and I don't know what happened to their horse, so it was just me in the flat class. This was a very small show. There was only like 2 other girls besides me, so, and for some reason the flat classes, like when I did it with my other mare, when I did it with Raven, they were in the flat class, but then when I did it with Pearl, they didn't do it. So I don't know, it was kind of strange, but I did the flat class and it was really good, and overall I think that we definitely did good with our flat, and it was kind of confusing because there was no one else in there, so I just felt kind of awkward and it just didn't feel right. So then we had to do our change of direction and do a immediate canter, which was very difficult for me because she was still kind of crooked when she went into our canter, but we did get the right lead, which was really nice. And then after our flat class, we did do another jumping round, which, like I said, was immediately after the flat. So I had barely any time for her to cool down. So she got a very long break after we were done with our next jumping round, which right here we had to do a nice walk break, which was really nice that she did get a walk break. And then afterwards, we were done with our flat, and I had to have people set the poles back up that they didn't set up before the flat class, and do the jumping all over again. But it was a totally different course than it was before. So here I am turning around again because they said that the flat class was over, and I was kind of just kept walking her around because they were setting up the poles again. And here's my round when the poles are finally set back up. So here I am, and the poles are back and they're set up, and we went immediately after the buzzer got called, and we went and did our round. And it started off like that line there, then you go back and turn, and you do this line here, and then you go straight and go around, and then that would be the end. So it was a little bit easier than our first round because our first round definitely did have a way more jumps than our last round. So right here I had her again go a little bit faster, and she took a long there, and I almost fell off. Like, I did not have any syrups, and then I kind of recollected her, and so we could easily go back down to a rising trot and do our trot circle, and we were all done with our rounds. So if you're wondering if I placed at all with Raven or with Pearl, obviously in flat I got first on Pearl. I actually surprisingly got second with Raven. With me and Raven's first class, we got third, and then with our second class, we got second, so that's 2 seconds and 1 third. With Pearl, I got one first in flat because no one else did flat, so I got an automatic win. And then in our first jumping class, I got third because I knocked some poles down, and the other two girls, they had clear rounds. And then this last class, surprisingly, I got first. So 2 first and 1 third, and I think that was a really good learning experience, especially for Raven because it was her first ever time doing jumping as a 4-year-old. And I have another class set up at Steve's and at Moorland for another youngster that I haven't taken out for their first show yet. I actually have 3 to 4 horses that have never been in the show experience yet, so I have quite a few horses still to do their first ever shows, so stay tuned because I will be doing those guys. So the next horse that I have, the next 2 horses that I have that are young, that they have shows booked. So at Steve's, my uncle's, we have Woody and Belle, which Belle's in the program. And those two haven't done shows yet, and they're both pretty young. And then at Moorland, we have my 2 blind ponies, Miss B, who is blind and was born blind in both of her eyes, and then Ghost, who was born blind in one of his eyes. So they both have their first shows at Moorland, which is going to be kind of scary because I picked the busiest time for Moorland show. So this is gonna be that video is gonna be very interesting, and that show is gonna be very interesting because they're both blind and they can't really see, especially B because she can't see out of both of her eyes, and I have to do vocal cues for her. I don't do vocal cues as much for Mr. Ghost, but both of those two are in the program, but I might be taking Miss B out of the program. Ghost and Miss B are both personal horses because of them being blind, and I want to make sure that they're in very good care. As you can see, I'm just talking over me cooling her off, intently cooling her off because she needed it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the upcoming update. I also have some big news at the end of this video, so let me go to when I'm back in the barn with all the ponies. So like I said, I'm going to have some huge news. So I have been working on something for a little bit now, and it's finally have a test version of it and the products. So I'm going to be showing you guys a photo that I took with some of the products. I'm still waiting on a couple of them. They're not fully done, they're not out yet fully for you guys to be able to use, but I am testing some things and putting some work into this, and I'm doing this all by myself, by the way, so this is taking a little bit longer than what I'm wanting. So as you guys know, I recently posted a video on the barn name, which is Pearl Equestrian Center, and I have been working on some stuff to go with Pearl Equestrian Center. So obviously we have our mascot, which is Miss Pearl, and obviously Sully, because they were the two that I've known about since the beginning. I've known about Pearl since I bought Sully when he was 7. I've owned Sully since he was 7. He's now 10, so I've owned him for a couple of years now. I don't plan on getting rid of him or any of his brothers or now sisters, because now he has a stepsister now, which is Remy, not Remy, right? Raven, there we go. So I decided to go ahead and start working on some stuff for the horses. Obviously, I spend time with all of my horses every day. So I think the only thing that's kind of close to being done is the horse treats. So I am making stuff for the horses. So I made some horse treats. They're shaped as hearts, and they're really cute. Obviously, this video is coming out on Valentine's Day, so I have that, and I have them be little hearts, and the treats are called Pearl Snap treats, and I'm really excited for the Pearl line to come out. And then I also have Pearl Shimmer, which is a horse hoof like oils and stuff like that. And then I have a couple of other things that I'm working on currently that I'm really excited about. I'm thinking maybe have some halters and blankets and some other stuff, and I'm really excited for everything to come out eventually. Right now it's just all in the works, but I do have like some photos and stuff on the Pearl Equestrian Center Instagram, which I will be linking in the description of this video, because I have the photos on my Instagram, on that Instagram, and then I have my main Instagram, which you guys can follow. I do post some extra things on there. So we are also it's a couple days after the show, and I have to get the 2 blind babies ready for their show, and I'm really nervous about it because I don't know how Miss B is going to do. I'm very nervous for Miss B to do this and stuff like that. So I've also recently moved horses around. So over here we have all of the mares except for obviously Ghost. Ghost has to be on this side because if he's on that side and he's not by any other horses, he will freak out. Because I was going to put him right behind Miss B, but I did that once and he freaked out and he hated it. And then we have Kingsley, and then we have this boy who is also very young. This is Dean, and he was the last baby that Chester, Sully, and Pearl's biological brother, and then their dad passed away, but they had like a bunch of like his stuff, and they were able to get a mare pregnant with their dad, but their dad sadly passed away. Their mom is still around, but she's really up there, not in work or anything like that. So she is, I think they said she was the oldest horse ever. I think she's like 29 years old. Like, she's up there in age and she's still like in her prime. Like, she's still amazing. So all of the boys are down here. Obviously we're missing quite a few of them because a lot of them are out in pasture as well, but I have so many horses that have shows booked, and I don't know if I'm going to record all of them. There is some that I am going to probably not record, and then there's some that I will record. Like, I'm probably not going to record the first show that I told you guys about at Steve's, but I will record the one with the 2 blind babies that I own, and I will be doing these 2, Ghost and Miss B. I will be doing their show at Moorland, and I'm really nervous about it, but we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for merch updates and the progress on all of that, and then let me know in the comments what horses you guys want to see in the next video. And yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.